Support WrestleTalk!
Donate on Patreon.
Daniel Bryan debuts his new character, Charlotte Flair is the new Becky Lynch, and Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio have their first match in 12 years on SmackDown Live because they had a match just 3 weeks ago at Crown Jewel. I am Luke Owen. Leave a comment down below for me to reply to, and vote in the poll above my head to let me know what you thought of the show. Using this rating system, smack damn, smacktastic, smack bang in the middle, smack downer, and a smack in the face. This is the 20th of November 2018 edition of SmackDown Live in about 4 minutes. The show kicked off with Charlotte Flair coming down to the ring to explain her attack on Ronda Rousey this past Sunday. We all wondered if WWE had finally listened to their audience and turned Flair heel off the back of the poor reaction she got during the Becky Lynch feud. But we were all wrong. Charlotte Flair didn't have a heel turn, she had a Lynch turn. Flair came out with all the swagger of Lynch. She cut a promo like Lynch, and she told Paige that she would find Ronda Rousey at TLC just like Becky Lynch would have done. WWE saw the reaction Becky Lynch got from her supposed heel turn at SummerSlam and Control-C, Control-V'd it onto Flair at Survivor Series. And credit to WWE, it's worked. This was the loudest the crowd have been for Flair in months, which only got hotter when she challenged either one of the Iconics to be the next Ronda Rousey, which led to Flair quickly dispatching of Billie Kay with natural selection to thunderous cheers. She then challenged Peyton Royce to a match as well, the majority of which took place during the commercial break and ended when Billie Kay ran in for the DQ. The Iconics then double-teamed Flair on the outside, prompting the crowd to cheer for a Becky Lynch save, but Flair don't need no Becky, as she easily dispatched of both Iconics on her own. I really hope this isn't just WWE's way of putting Flair over Lynch, but I do get some serious Big Show doing the yes chance because WWE didn't want Bryan getting over vibes about this. But as I said, credit to WWE because this did work and Charlotte is now being cheered. After signing a copy of the Marine 6 backstage, although Miz did sign the shrink wrap, which means that guy will never be able to watch the film or he'll lose the signature, Miz came out for a Miz TV segment with Shane McMahon. And it was at this point something dawned on me. This episode of SmackDown Live was yet to mention the fact that they lost every match at Survivor Series besides the non-canon kickoff tag team elimination match. And that amazingly continued in this segment. Despite Shane tweeting that a big change was coming on this episode, Miz instead praised Shane for all his hard work during the 5-on-5 men's match and asked to be in a tag team with him, which led to a match between Shane and Miz versus local enhancement talent the Byrant brothers, which Miz lost when he got rolled up. This was such an odd segment. Why go to the effort of having SmackDown lose every single match on the main card of Survivor Series if you're not even going to mention it a single time on the follow-up show whatsoever? Like Raw on Monday, the outcome of those Survivor Series matches meant diddly squat, and that is infuriating as a fan. The New Day then came out for a Thanksgiving feast fight where Kofi said he was thankful for their win on the Survivor Series kickoff show. So wait, is the kickoff show canon now? Because if so, why did the rest of the Survivor Series and Raw bang the drum that it didn't count and tell me that it was a clean sweep? Why did WWE constantly insult the intelligence of its audience? By the way, this was the first reference to SmackDown losing all 6 main card matches, and it came nearly an hour into the show and was used as comedy, quickly swept over by Xavier Woods making a Red Dead Redemption 2 joke. They then beat the Bar and Big Show in a match with Thanksgiving shenanigans. Yeah, people falling through tables of food and Biggie using a turkey as a boxing glove was funny and all, but by this point I was worn down by the constant reminder that Survivor Series meant bugger all. And while I did chuckle, this comedy segment made the tag champs look like tag chumps. Asuka and Naomi then beat Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in a short match with some miscommunication on the part of Deville and Rose. Who cares? And the Lars Sullivan also played on SmackDown Live. So we're still none the wiser on which brand Lars is going to. which makes me think WWE are none the wiser of which brand he's going to. What came next might have been the best but weirdest segment on the show. Ollie and I joked on the Wrestle Ramble podcast that Charlotte Flair would be the one to cut the standard heel "you fans turned on me" promo because, you know, that would make character sense. But instead, that was given to SmackDown's other heel turn of the week, Daniel Bryan. Bryan came out in the comfiest looking cardigan I've seen in quite some time. Seriously, I want that cardigan. And cut an odd yet oddly captivating promo talking about himself in the third person. But that person he was talking about was the old Daniel Bryan, and he introduced himself as the new Daniel Bryan, even asking Greg Hamilton to announce him as the new Daniel Bryan. I'll be honest, at one point I thought he was going to call himself Bryan Danielson, and I do wonder if next week we'll get a whole new look and presentation of the Daniel Bryan character. It was also announced that Bryan would defend his title against AJ Styles at TLC. Carmella and R-Truth sold merchandise in front of the old Wrestle Ramble set. Shout out to Carl Ingle for that solid joke. And Randy Orton defeated Rey Mysterio in a short main event, which saw Randy attack Rey with a chair after the match and tore off his mask. Fun fact, the last time these two had a match on SmackDown, the Marvel Cinematic Universe didn't exist. Guys, it's time to push some new folk in the main event scene of this show. It is not like you're short on talent on the SmackDown roster. Let's be honest, this was not a good episode of SmackDown Live. Made worse by the fact we all sat and watched that 4-hour pay-per-view where Raw decimated SmackDown at every turn, and it was barely a footnote just 2 days later. The words "clean sweep" were never said on this show. None of it mattered, so why should I care about what happens next? Granted, this wasn't as bad as Raw, but that is a very low bar. And main eventing with guys like Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio in 2018, when you have the likes of Andrade Cien Almas, Rusev, Samoa Joe, Aiden English, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sanity, Gallows and Anderson, the Usos, Shelton Benjamin, and so many others all sat backstage doing nothing, is a damn shame. This week's episode of SmackDown Live is a low SmackDowner, but it was better than Raw. You can see Ollie Davis get super upset about this week's Raw on the latest Wrestle Ramble by clicking the video on screen right now. I've been Luke Owen, and that was wrestling.